Alright, time for another real video. Well, I say real video. You know what I mean. It's single player challenges. For the first time doing one in ETS2. Because I realized I hadn't done one in ETS2 and this challenge seemed to suit the European style of everything. So I recently, well, not recently, that wasn't even my last challenge. One of the challenges I did, I was driving a truck that was front-wheel drive and rear-wheel steer. So, in this challenge, I'm driving a truck that is all-wheel drive and all-wheel steer. And we're gonna see how that goes. I think it should be interesting. It probably won't be as weird as driving the Peterbilt was. Of course, that truck was also inverted and everything. But it should still be interesting, and the trailer's axles all steer as well. I'll have both these mods in the description. However, the truck does not come with an all-wheel steer chassis, so I'm gonna include a little clip at the end showing how to do this, basically. Yeah, that looks ridiculous. You usually don't have tandem steer axles. Like, with axles with tandem tires on them that are steer axles, is what I mean by that. Right, anyway. Let's go and pick up the load. So this thing... This would be, yeah. It turns really tight. This is going to be interesting. I'd love to see the sort of donuts this truck can do. So, because of the challenge I'm doing, I just went for the truck with the most wheels I could find, basically. So I got 5 axles on the truck and 5 axles on the trailer. I very nearly used an extremely ugly... I think it was a made-up truck. But it was basically a Renault Premium with a hood. It was kind of cool looking, but also really ugly looking. But then I saw this gigantic 5-axle beast, and I was like, oh, I gotta use that. So yeah, regular driving, it's not all that bad. But the reason we're in Norway specifically right now is because I'm hoping that when we throw some tight corners into the mix, it's going to get interesting. Yeah, see there, I already turned in too soon. What I'd really like to do is do like an entirely reverse truck. It has 2 front axles that are driven, and 1 rear axle. What just happened? Oh. That's not even because of the all-wheel steer truck. That's just having a trailer that has steer axles. I forgot about how it likes to swing it. Though, I guess having an all-wheel steer truck probably had something to do with that. What I did just realize is that backing this up is going to be very interesting. Oops, wrong button. What was I picking up again? Oh shoot, it's gone! This is why I don't usually start videos before getting the load. Alright, well, the load I was gonna take was going to Stavanger, so I'll just take this load and then stop in Stavanger. That's a pain. Okay, I'm not even going to attempt to use the mirrors here. This is going to be very interesting. I was also thinking, I wonder if it would be possible to do a challenge driving a truck that only the trailer axles steer. But I'm not sure if that would actually work, so I'm going to have to test that. Well, I guess I'll try making a video on it at some point, and if it doesn't work, the video just never get uploaded. Eh. 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 It's like strafing. This is weird. There we go. Made it. In the parking spot. Load the trailer. Alright. Nice big wide cargo, which means we need all the lights. Yeah, I have strobes going all the way down the side of the truck. I wanted to have strobes along the front too, but it was being uncooperative. Oh, let me make sure I remember to stop in Stavanger. Let's just say it's going to Polaris. Why not? That'll work. Now, this might not end up being the longest video, but I wanted to make sure I had time for the showing how to make this truck do its craziness. Look, its turning radius, expectably, is that a word? Anyway, this truck's turning radius is better than my car's. Not that my car has the greatest turning radius, it's quite long. And I did just notice that the trailer actually does not track behind the truck at all. So I think that the trailer also having steer axles is actually going to be negatively affecting this, which is nice. I feel like I actually had something to talk about that I was going to talk about during this video. Didn't actually realize those Volvo things on the windshield light up. I hope that doesn't drop the frame rate too much. Doesn't appear to be at the moment. Oh no! Oh no! Whoa! There we go. I guess the nose dug into the ground. Past the van. Yeah, see, in normal driving, this truck isn't really all that different. Go, 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 go. Get off the road. Off-road Volvo! Rolly Volvo! I'm gonna hit the wall! That was just me being stupid. Apparently I have the button clutch on this profile. Oh, that snapback! Yeah, it's really only noticeable at low speeds, I'm noticing. What would have been more interesting would be if I could have gotten all 5 of the axles to steer in the same direction. So instead of the truck turning when I turn the steering wheel, it would just sort of start strafing sideways. That would probably make it undrivable, though. It'd be funny. But yeah, like, aside from being a little bit touchy, on a steering wheel at least, it's not that noticeable. If you're using a different control method, it might be a bit more of a handful, honestly. I love this underground roundabout. My brain actually did a really good job of switching to European transmission mode. I'm using an 18 speed. So now I keep screwing up my shifts because I'm expecting a 12 speed and that's not what I'm driving. That's a problem I don't usually have. With all these strobes on the truck, it makes the trailer seem woefully underlit. Oh, going straight through a traffic circle. This might be interesting. Let's get a good look at this. Oh, yep, turned in too soon. Dang, I actually could have gotten around that without going onto the curb. I screwed up myself. We need more traffic circles on this trip. Okay. Yeah, so maybe this challenge isn't quite as interesting as I'd hoped. To watch, at least. It is definitely interesting to drive at certain times. So, I do recommend going and trying this yourself. Like I said, I'll have a tutorial as to how to make any truck do this at the end of the video. But I'll be using this truck as an example. Now, if only SCS had the technology to make it so that we could have articulated trucks. That way I could have an all-wheel drive, all-wheel steer truck-trailer combo where even the trailer wheels are driven. What I need to do is give Bronco a challenge. Just drive this truck for a load. Not even with the all-wheel steer. Just It literally says Volvo everywhere I could have it say Volvo. Just need to make him drive this. No, don't fall over. Realistically, though, I feel like this should be more common in Europe. If you're gonna have a longer truck, just have all steer axles. It'll make it a lot easier getting around corners. When you don't screw it up yourself, anyway. No. Of course, I also don't know how this particular truck would take corners with only the twin steer it's supposed to have. So it's possible that this is actually making a really big difference, and I just don't know. But, you know, I've seen crane trucks that most of the axles are steer axles. Like, what's the common setup? It'll be like 2 steer axles and then 3 non-steer axles and then 2 more steer axles in the back or something like that. Oh, there are a bunch of different styles of crane truck. But, like, even the crane truck that you can carry in this game that only has 3 axles, I'll bet the front and back axles are both steer axles. Either that or it drives like a tank, one of the two. Now, that would be interesting. That's not something I could do in this game. But make a truck that has tank steering? Oh, that would be even better. Have a truck that actually has tank tracks. Oh, that would be an interesting thing to drive. Like it steers like a tank, but you still have a regular steering wheel instead of controlling power. That'd be really interesting to drive. I wish I could do that. I don't think there's any way to do that in this game. If there is, I don't know about it. I feel like this truck is more top-heavy than I'd expect it to be for how long it is. I mean, yeah, it has the crane on the back and everything, but it's a very long truck. Like, I'd say this truck is the same length, if not a little longer, than my dad's International that he drives in real life. Now, in fact, I think this would be longer. I'm fairly certain this would be longer than my dad's International. This is not a small truck. But I guess maybe the all-wheel steer makes it a little tipsier. Oh, shift gears. I guess this trip is longer than I thought it was. Of course, I don't actually know how long this video will end up being from looking at my recording time because I had a few issues getting this working right. No. I seem to recall saying in a past video at some point that I wasn't going to sing while on camera. Yeah, like, I got a long truck and a low-slung cargo on the trailer. I feel like it should not be this as top-heavy as it is. Well, that's convenient. Yeah. Pass the truck! It should probably shift. There we go. Pass the truck! Oh, the truck is turning. Well, that makes it easier. I think the truck was turning. Yeah, truck is turning. Now I'm thinking, what would happen if you took American triples, so 3 single-axle box trailers with 2 single-axle dollies, and made it so that all the trailer wheels steer? I feel like that would just be a big... That's my next challenge. The truck's going to be perfectly normal. The trailers are going to be all steer, and they're all going to be single-axle. That's going to be interesting. Good job, me. So now you know what to look forward to. Probably won't be for another couple months, because I actually had this idea before the idea for my last single-player challenge, so... Shows you how long I wait between these videos. Just because I get distracted with other things. Now, I should be able to take that corner. I probably could have taken that from the turn lane if I wanted to. So used to driving like I'm in a big truck. I forget that I can undercompensate with this thing. I would have loved to take the crane off the truck and then just have a box trailer, so there's just this huge long space. And then the trailer's just like perched on the back. Well, see, then something like this, you gotta worry more about hitting the outside wall than the inside wall, I feel. Go. The trailer swung around and hit the signs. See what I mean? The trailer just does not follow the truck at all. It's almost... You know what it makes me think of? Is in like a GTA game, if you attach something to a vehicle, it sort of just like swings around behind the vehicle and it only has partial collision. That's what this sort of makes me think of. Alright, let's try... I came into it too fast, but I was going to try to stay in my lane. And actually, I think I sort of managed that. Even with coming in too fast. I hit that sign because I wasn't paying attention, but... How do you actually get in... Huh. Is this not right? Oh, I thought this was... Well, I guess it's time to see how quickly, how sharp this truck can actually turn. That's actually worked out, like, I was planning on doing this anyway, but now I have an actual reason to. So, let's give it... Well, see, now what's gonna happen is the trailer's just gonna hit the wall. Like, this is actually gonna end up being more difficult because of the self-steering trailer. If I had a regular trailer, I could have made that turn without hitting anything. That's really funny. Alright, now real quick, just because I'm curious. How sharp can this truck turn when you don't have a trailer? Like, could I make a U-turn in this tiny little spot here? Okay, the turning radius isn't actually quite as good as I thought it was. My car actually could have made that turn. But it's still a lot better than you'd expect for a truck this long, obviously. Oh, and it's really interesting to park. What about trying to back it under a trailer at an angle? I'm just thinking of silly things to do with this truck while I have it. Ow. That's how you get over here. Duh. Right, so... I was hoping there was a gap in between those two box trailers. Look. It's so bizarre to back it. Like, driving forward isn't the weirdest. You know, like, you sort of notice it has a sharp turning radius, but beyond that... I know what I'm doing. But when you're backing up... Alright, between the trailers and through the gap in the fence, in first person. Because why not? Wait, hold on. Okay, I need to back in this side of that trailer. Even just looking at it here, it's like, I'm never gonna make that. But I forgot to count on the fact that I have a truck with stuff. That's weird. It's weird. It turns so sharp. See, like, going forward is sort of meh. Going backward, that's when you really notice the difference. Alright, anyway, let me get on to showing you how to do this. Alright, so it's pretty simple, really. So I've got this File Explorer up. You go to Documents, and Euro Truck Simulator 2 or American Truck Simulator, whichever game you want to do this in. Like I said, I'm using the mod that I just used as an example. Mod. The mod you want to use, and if you want to use a default truck, that's a bit more complicated. So I'm not going to show you how to do that right now. Just stick to modded trucks, it's easier. Because you already have everything. So this is the truck I was using. And like I said, I will have a link to it in the description. I don't know what RPIE is supposed to stand for, but I've just been calling it RPI. And then def, vehicle, truck, whatever the truck is. This one's the Volvo FH16. Chassis, whatever chassis you want to use, which I was actually using this one because it already had 3 steer axles. But since it's already modified, I'm going to show you this one. So this one I haven't touched at all. This is just a chassis that's added by the mod. You go down, and what you could do is just find steerable axle, because it'll be in different places depending on who made the mod. This one, it just happens to be all the way at the bottom. So all you gotta do is make sure all of these are true. And then save it. And of course, because I've done that, now these are identical. Yeah, so that's literally all you do. It's very simple. That's why I'm not like including this as a separate mod or something that you can download. And then it's the same thing with the trailers. So you'd go to whatever trailer mod, def, vehicle, trailer owned, whatever folder. There are 2 different versions, so that's why there are 2 here. I'm gonna go to tandem. And then chassis, whatever chassis you want to use. And this one doesn't actually have any steerable axles, so all you do, I'm going to put it above the defaults, is add steerable axle. Seeing my Now, I don't actually know how many axles this trailer has. Oh, it has 1 axle. So that's all you'd have to do for this trailer, because it only has 1 axle. But if you had a trailer with 3 axles, even if you only wanted 1 steerable axle, I'll just throw this in now, you'd still need to put all 3 in. Because otherwise, it'll think something's missing. So that's if it was a tri-axle trailer. The trailer I was using actually already had a chassis with all steerable axles, so I didn't have to mess with it. But yeah, so if I wanted, so now, just like this, and then if I save it, this single axle, I guess it's a BDF tandem. This single axle would be a steerable axle now. It's as simple as that.